Hey, everybody. How are you? It is Monday, the beginning of the week, and I am really excited about this week. I have a lot to do. I'm going to be a lot of places, and so I have a really serious message for you. But before I get into that, I think I told you guys that I am going to South Africa. And so I am on my way to South Africa, and I want to say this. A lot of times I get a lot of questions when I'm in different countries, and people ask me, do other working moms still have the same kind of issues that we have? Do other women really embrace the same kind of issues at work and in corporate? Are they still having the same kind of challenges? A lot of times people, especially in Africa, always say, oh, you guys don't have the same kind of challenges that we have in the US because all your men are definitely helping you at home and supporting you and things like that. And I guess if you're in the US, you know that is so not true, that we still have pretty much all the same challenges. And as I've traveled around, I've noticed that there's not a major difference between what's happening in the US in relationships in terms of women and working moms and at work, in terms of how corporate and corporations view women in the workplace, of giving them a platform to really excel, to give them a platform to really be the best leader that they can be. There's still those stereotypes that are still out there, no matter where you are. What I have seen in the US and also in Africa. So I am on my way to South Africa, and I'm saying to you, if you have a question that you would love for me to ask from one of the South African moms, from a career woman in South Africa, then send it to me. Send me that question, and I will not only ask, but I will Facebook Live that question for you so you can actually hear the answer from that woman. So we're going to be live in the Working Mom Expo in Johannesburg for 3 days. If you're in South Africa, come and join us. If you're not there, then join on the Facebook Live. We're going to take as many shots to give you a feel of the experience. It's going to be an amazing expo. They're expecting, about 5,000 women to show up. So I'm really excited. After that, we're going to have another meeting, and we'll try to Facebook Live that meeting. Now, that other meeting is it's a private meeting. So let me tell you what I want to talk to you about, something very serious. On Friday, I had an opportunity, my daughter and I, to attend a lunch, and this lunch was on domestic violence. And we went kind of just out of curiosity, just no major agenda of going. My daughter is studying public health, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to explore another area in public health. And so we went to this lunch, and I learned so much. But not only did I learn so much, I left really troubled and shocked that to hear that this kind of things are happening in people's home. Now, I'm not sure if you know anyone who's battered, or you could even be a person who's battered, or you could be the batterer. But when I heard the numbers, I realized that probably most of us know someone. 1 out of every 4 women are in domestic violence relationships or intimate partner violence. 1 out of every 4. Which means that when your girlfriends, when everybody's hanging out and it's 5 of you or 7 of you or 4 of you, somebody there has probably experienced some kind of abuse. 1 out of every 7 men are also in the same kind of situation. And for men, people don't really talk about it as much because we tend to think that it doesn't happen to men. Not only was I shocked, I was not totally shocked that it happens to men. I was shocked at the numbers. 1 out of every 7. So are you telling me when 10 men stand together that one of those men are probably in a domestic violence relationship, is in an intimate partner violence relationship? They're being battered. And I find that alarming. What really alarmed me was 1 out of every 3 teenagers who are dating are in a violent relationship. And that's pretty scary for a teenager. So if this teenager is dating someone, and 1 out of every 3 of those teens who are dating are in a relationship where there's violence, where there's abuse, and where do they go? because sometimes teens are told not to even have boyfriends or girlfriends, and then they do, and so they can't even report it to their parents. It's a difficult thing for them to even report to their children. I'm sorry, to their teachers. It's a difficult thing. Where do they go? And then once it's even reported, if the batterer attends the same school, do they go to another school? And so that really shocked me, because it just lets you know around you, people are suffering, people are in a lot of trouble, and people need help. And a lot of times we're really judgmental. And when we hear those kind of things, we hear, oh, my girlfriend, oh, her so-and-so beats her. Oh, she's always, well, I don't know why she talks so loud. It's because she's too bossy. She's too aggressive. Why don't she just listen to what he says? And then that wasn't happening. And all those things are so untrue. And it makes it very difficult even for that person to even report when they hear, because when they report, everyone starts asking them, what did you do? What did you do wrong? And so I want to just I'm not the expert. I just want to relay some of the information that they gave me. And some of the things they kind of share with us is that some of the myths around why women or why men or why anyone stays in this kind of relationship. And it has nothing to do with low self-esteem. It has nothing to do with the fact that, the guy says, oh, that he loves you too much. There's various reasons why women stay in these relationships and why men stay in these relationships. And there's various reasons why the batterer is a batterer. But some of the things we always hear is, oh, the person was drinking too much, so we should excuse their bad behavior. Oh, she's too loud and she's too pushy, so we should excuse his bad behavior. Or he was doing drugs, and if he wasn't a drug addict, then he wouldn't be a batterer. Oh, because someone made him angry, then he wouldn't be angry. But I think many of us can ask ourselves, how many times have you been angry? How many times have you had alcohol and you didn't batter someone? And so being angry and using alcohol or someone upsetting you are not reasons for someone to be a batterer, and it's not a good reason for you to be battered. It's not also just about physical battery. If someone is holding you against your will in your home, if someone is controlling you and controlling who your friends can and cannot be, these are all elements of abuse. And so all I want to tell you is that there is help. The Partnership for Domestic Violence is a place that actually where people can call in and get free help. I'm in the state of Georgia. Unfortunately, in every county, there is not a shelter, but there are shelters for women and for men. There are hotlines for teenagers to call and get support. This is something that we can't really ignore. And whatever you can do, if you know someone in that situation, if you think you know someone in that situation, be that person's friend and support, and be that person that they can go to. I'm not saying that you need to be counseling them, because most of us don't have the training, but sometimes people just need a safety net, someplace where they can kind of talk about their situation until they're able to make a clear decision about what they want to do. If you're not in that situation, it's really hard for you to understand what that person is going through. So try not to judge. But I don't think anybody, when they enter the relationship, deserves or desired to be abused physically, mentally, shamed, and all the other things that happens in these type of relationships. So I thought this was such a serious topic that I had a privilege to be a part of, that I was obligated to share this information. Domestic violence is very serious. 1 out of every 4 women are being abused, 1 out of every 7 men, and 1 out of every 3 teenagers. Those numbers are way too small for us to ignore. In the state of Georgia, we're ranked 8th out of men who kill women from these relationships. 8. That's pretty scary. And that's pretty sad. And so if you know someone, really try to be there for them. If you are that person, call for help. You can't do it alone. It's not your fault. No, you didn't ask for it. You didn't deserve it. It wasn't anything that happened to you that you did that caused that person to abuse you in any way, verbally, physically, emotionally. No one deserves to be called anything but the name that was put on their birth certificate, and no one deserves for another person to put their hand on them, to hold them against their will. So I want to share that, guys, with you. I will definitely come back later on for a much more upbeat message, but that information really, I mean, a lot of women and a lot of men actually listen to these videos, and we definitely need to be able to support people where we can support them and allow them to get help when they can. So thanks so much. I am Seba Badaki. I hope you know that by now. And send me your questions. What do you would like to hear from the women in South Africa? I cannot wait to ask them your questions and hear what you have to say to them. So if you have a message for the women in South Africa, let me know. I'll share it with them. If you have a question, let me know. I'll ask them, and I'm going to put them on Facebook Live so you can hear your question answered. Have a wonderful day.